Welcome into TBM's Finest. Yeah, I said it, TBM's Finest. This is not a regular show. This will be broadcasted on YouTube, Facebook, or wherever you would like to broadcast it. It's my good friend Dart Edwards here. Chris Draper, as you already know. Run my own show on BTW 21, and I run my own show on Connected with CBS Sports and Wide Television. So, with that, without further ado and all the introductions that have been brought to you, I think we should get into a lot of discussions here. It's been long overdue. A lot of discussions probably about ACC tournament that just happened, more specifically the ACC Championship between Notre Dame and UNC. A little bit of NFL acquisitions here, and definitely we'll probably end it with the NBA.
Definitely all over the world of sports, Chris. And as you mentioned, the ACC tournament, what a letdown by the Carolina Tar Heels. Oh,
that's
my
your team,
goodness.
right?
But we'll give it to Notre Dame. They did one hell of a job shooting that ball. The spacing was incredible. NFL free agency, it kind of reminded me of an NBA offseason. Just saying. Everywhere else
we're
in
NBA
sports,
heavy. We're very NBA heavy. We're very NBA heavy, trust me. But okay. Start off with the ACC tournament here. Excuse me, the ACC Championship. Notre Dame, UNC. I thought it'd be a great game. Of course, we wanted to see UNC Duke. That's what we wanted to see from the beginning. We were probably going to head down there because we are close to Greensboro, being that we're in Martinsville, Virginia.
And the last game at that Forum.
At the Forum. Last game at the ACC tournament in Greensboro until it'll be next year. It'll be D.C. And then the next year after that, it'll be Brooklyn. And Lord knows I'm not making the trip to go see it in Brooklyn unless I'm probably in another state, another area with another job. So with that being said, I'm not going. But I will support the ACC forever and always and Tobacco Road. This being a huge UNC fan, my team was Maryland, as you probably already know.
We'd like to thank Duke for messing that up for us. But good job, Tar Heels, getting there either way.
Yeah, Duke really ruined it. We were really going to go down there, but yeah, thanks, Duke. Thanks a whole lot. Notre Dame, you just wanted to come in, and Mike Bray, you wanted to beat your former head coach and then beat Roy Williams, which I don't mind that. It adds for more drama. I thought you had one of the best teams all season. I thought Notre Dame had a very great offensive team but couldn't put it together on the defensive end until they played UNC tonight.
They were a high-scale North Carolina team in the respect that they're just underrated. People don't want to pay attention to them because, after all, it's Notre Dame. They don't have the legacies of these other big-name schools.
Mostly they've made their legacy off being independent.
But they did beat Duke last night to beat North Carolina tonight for the title, which, as we know, hasn't been done since, what, 1993?
Listen, I don't know the facts on none of that because I don't keep up with all the statistics, but he's probably right. Since 1993.
That's a good job in my book.
But with that just being said, man, listen. They had the game won. UNC let it go again. They've had the game won against Duke countless times. They let it go in the last couple minutes. They had the game won against Notre Dame. I mean, I think until the last about 6 minutes of the game, they go on a 15-0 run, and they just kept going. I'm talking about threes everywhere, whether it was from Pat Connaughton or whether it's from Demetrius Jackson or whether it's from Zach August getting another rebound, throwing it out to Jerry and Grant. So that's really all they did in this whole spectrum of things.
15-0 run sounds like the first half. I may be mistaken. At one point, I know it was 12-0 run. It might have been 14, possibly 15. That was the first half alone. Second half, Carolina's up 9. Creep, creep, creep. Notre Dame just took over on a 22-2 run. You can't win like that, people. Sorry, don't care who you are. You're not going to win.
Sorry, we're doing this show on a budget, so if you see me look down just periodically, it's because my computer screen is down there. And yes, we have to have topics, so I do have to look at my computer screen every now and then. But like I said, this is freestyle, so we're doing it off the top of the head. And yes, we're doing it off a budget. This is not a studio.
Topics.
This is my basement.
Not experience. Not
experience, and I had to get down there. And I had to get down there. Look, I had to even go down just to refresh it because apparently it crashed. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot,
the Tar Heels.
Like the Tar Heels
crashing. Gosh.
But anyways, listen, I mean, I love Marcus Page. He balled out. I mean, even I don't like Nate Britt. You should change your shot back to being left-handed because it's terrible right now, and you still can't shoot. You couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if you were outside, and you couldn't hit water if you fell out of a boat. So that's the way I feel about Nate Britt. Plus, Justin Jackson finally came to play. Joel Berry stepped it up off the bench. Bryce Johnson has been playing phenomenal phenomenal this whole season. I would think he's played like the tournament. He's averaged a double-double each and every game. Kennedy Meeks, you're as soft as a Charmin tissue at this point. JP Tokido, you can't put together a full game.
Except for tonight. That was your first decent all-around game. Thank you.
2 points against 2 points against Boston College. Louisville, you did work. I mean, pretty much you're a defensive player that's athletic and you can jump high. But your shooting skills are at best.
And speaking of 2 points, Mr. Page, we need people to show up in the second half, and you did, but 2 points total in the first half.
The first half?
Gotta be better than that.
Gotta be better than that. Pound sign, do better.
Again, we just covered the entire Carolina. Notre Dame, one hell of a job. They had 4 people, I think, that had 14 or more points, and just a slew of assists all around the board. That Grant kid is something else.
You know what's the bad thing about Notre Dame? Nobody cares.
Nope.
It wasn't Duke.
They won. Congratulations.
Wasn't Duke, wasn't Syracuse, wasn't Louisville. It was Mike Bray and Notre Dame, a team that went under the radar. I mean, a lot of people said they'd be good, but they kind of slouched off in the end of the season. They came back in tournament time, played to the best of their abilities, showed their offensive abilities, got some defensive stops against North Carolina, came out with their first ACC Championship and their first appearance in the ACC Championship. So congratulations to Notre Dame. And with that being said, that ends the college basketball segment that we just got into. Now on to NFL acquisitions and free agency. And on for me to ask Chip Kelly what the hell he's doing over this whole free agency, picking up Sam Bradford at your quarterback, and then going out and getting DeMarco Murray, letting go of Jeremy Maclin, and also letting go of LaShawn McCoy. I don't understand a thing he's doing with the Philadelphia Eagles, and you should be worried in your division because the Dallas Cowboys, last time I checked, still had Des Bryant and the best offensive line in football last time I checked.
Offensive line, yes. Quarterback, suspect when it comes to overall.
You don't like Tony Romo? What's wrong with you?
I'm sure he's a great guy, but then again, when you talk about sports, period, you're talking about the championships. The guy has shown up winning the playoffs. He's made it to one game.
Okay.
Every other game, what has he done? He's put up great numbers from time to time in a regular season. Come to get the job done, call somebody else.
See, this is my beef with everybody who says they don't like Tom Brady. Or everybody, not Tom Brady, but everybody says they don't like Tony Romo. This is my beef. He's got comeback wins. He's done it during the regular season. He's done it with a bad back. Not only has he done that, but he got him to the... He didn't get him to the playoffs. DeMarco Murray and that massive offensive line did. When you made Tony Romo the second option, it was the best thing you ever did. Because when you throw it up to Des Bryant, he's catching everything. And for those people, yes, I'm a Green Bay Packer fan. And guess what with this? It wasn't a catch. Rules say that when the ball hits the ground, it's not a catch. So therefore, Dallas Cowboy fans, get over it. There's another season, and you're my pick probably, and this is early, probably to win that division, go back to the playoffs, assuming that Darren McFadden can stay healthy throughout the entire season behind that massive O-line that I don't think DeMarco Murray will even be good with the Eagles. I think he's going to run for 1,000 and about 1,400 yards, but I definitely don't think he's going for what he did last year.
That's going to be hard to match. That'll be hard to match.
In that O-line.
Very hard to match.
That's going to be hard to match. He didn't get touched in that O-line. So, Chip Kelly, I really hope you know what you're doing because your quarterback hasn't gone through an entire season yet. He's got 2 bad knees, and his name is Sam Bradford. Last time I checked, he was 6'4" and frail in the pocket. I don't know if he can run it. I hope you know what you're doing or you're going to be shipped out of Philadelphia. But guess what? No worries because the thing that's going to happen for you is as soon as you're shipped out of Philadelphia, you're probably going back down to college and you're going to get hired everywhere else. Hey, you bolstered up the defense, I think, with Kiko Alonso, and if I'm not mistaken, Byron Maxwell. So good job getting Kerry Williams out of there because he got blasted by Des Bryant. So good job on that front.
Well, before we get to all the other teams, just one more point about Tony Romo. He's got so much more upside and potential than a lot of these other quarterbacks.
Okay, I hear that.
However, even Joe Flacco, no disrespect, Ray Lewis, you deserved it, but even the Ravens got it done under his leadership.
Yeah, but Joe Flacco's a monster in the playoffs. I'll give you that one. Touche, sir.
Sorry, Cowboys.
Touche.
You got to win.
Touche. And with that being said, let's go on to Ndamukong Suh. Now, Detroit, you should have paid him. You should have gave him the money. Trust me, he may be a dirty player, but he gets the job done. And for all of you people saying, hey, he won a couple games without a tackle last year. Well, last time I checked, he's a defensive tackle, not a defensive end. Not his job to get tackles. Basically, his job to clear up those gaps, provide pressure on the quarterback, and let the linebackers and the D ends make plays. I think you should watch a little more football or at least learn the sport. So with that being said, do I think he deserves to get paid almost more than a quarterback? No. But do I think he deserves to get paid? Yes. Do I think the Miami Dolphins got better? Yes. Do I think the Miami Dolphins have one of the best defenses in the league? Last time I checked, they kept my Green Bay Packers under 30 points and almost beat us until the bad man that is Aaron Rodgers went off in that final 1 minute with a Dan Marino play to end the game. So last time I checked, yeah, he deserved the money.
And the upside is free agency's clearly not over with. Miami did get rid of their number one wide receiver. Not
Wallace
saying he's good.
Trash.
He's not that good
Check
when
my
compared to other
check my football
leading
fantasy.
receivers
Check my
in the
fantasy
league.
sports. He's trash.
However, if they're willing to do that, who are they picking up? Are they going to try to get somebody in free agency? Or are they willing to look deep in the draft? Who knows? As far as defense, they got it. Offense, what are they going to do?
Offense, what are they going to do? I mean, I like Ryan Tannehill. So I'm pretty sure he's got a nice upside. Running back core, they're going to go out and work on that. I'm not sure they kept even Noshawn Moreno. He was hurt most of the year after they got him from the Denver Broncos. So whatever they decide to do, I'm pretty much with it. I think the Dolphins bolster it up, and I think they do a little bit better. Now, on to more acquisitions. LaShawn McCoy, where did he go, may you ask? Went to the Buffalo Bills. Oh, so he's playing there. Well, guess what? They still don't have a quarterback, and I'm still not convinced with whatever they do. Also have one of the best defenses in football. So, Jeremy Maclin, another Chip Kelly got rid of, shipped out of town because he didn't want to pay him. Hey, Jeremy Maclin went to the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that didn't even have a touchdown last year by a wide receiver. So they needed a wide receiver. But you know what they needed more than a wide receiver? Because I don't like Alex Smith. They needed a quarterback, just like everybody else. So until you fix those problems, I don't see you winning either, because you have probably the best running back duo in Niles Davis and Jamal Charles, and you can do it with Jeremy Maclin. But with that being said, who's Alex Smith? Can he throw it past more than 5 to 15 yards? Last time I checked, I didn't think so.
Good question. Now, with everything whirlwind just spinning out of control in Eagle Land, what's going on with the Jets? They seem to go up and up on the defensive end, and they get the offense pieces that they've been missing. But do they have the leader of the offense to help them?
You know what's funny? They bolstered up their defense like the Buffalo Bills are trying to bolster up their offense without getting a quarterback, and they have Rex Ryan, one of the best defensive minds in the game. And then the Jets, where he just came from, Rex Ryan, they just bolstered up their defense, got Darrelle Revis back, Antonio Cromartie, paid Darrelle Revis a boatload of money. But guess what? They got Brandon Marshall too. But my problem still remains the same with this and an amount of other teams. Who's the quarterback running that ship?
Who's going to lead the
Geno
offense?
Smith. And guess what? Last time I checked with him, I should do a segment called Last Time I Checked. Because to be honest with you, and I'm going to start doing that, but the last time I checked, Geno Smith was still the quarterback, Mike Vick was still the backup, and nobody's throwing touchdowns in New York Jets land. So your defense is tight. But you still need to go out and get a better running back core and a better quarterback. Last time I checked. Okay, so with that being another acquisition,
Back to Florida.
Back to Florida. Are we going there?
Back to Florida.
Surprise move. So I'm gonna go ahead and go out and give a shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars for actually getting somebody for Blake Bortles to throw to, Julius Thomas. However, in the playoffs last year and a little bit towards the end of the season, he didn't do very well with the Denver Broncos. So I see why they didn't franchise tag him. They already have enough weapons, and they're going to continue to get weapons.
When was the last time they had a decent was it Maurice Jones-Drew, the quarterback?
Probably was.
That was the last time
Yeah.
they had
Maurice
an
Jones-Drew,
offense, and he was the only one playing the offense.
He was the only one.
Kudos to
He was that
you,
guy.
Jacksonville, for actually making an attempt to do something.
Yeah, he was that guy, though. Jacksonville, they're trying to come up, but it's going to take a long time for them to get on the come up. So, as I look down again, and I think this will be something that provides no interruption, on to NBA. On to some of our favorite things. KD. I've heard rumors that he's possibly going to be traded after this year. You think that's going to happen? I mean, do you think he's possibly going to be traded even with, let's say, if I had to think about him being traded, it would probably be to the If they wanted to trade him, I don't know, but he wants to pick up with the Washington Wizards, if I'm not mistaken.
Closer to home. Like the whole LeBron James, I'm coming home thing.
DC, Chocolate City.
And then, of course, you got everybody on the media who's just going crazy, just throwing out just anything in their head. Oh, let's get KD and Steph Curry to come down to South Beach and play with Dwayne Wade in the Miami Heat. Pat Riley's going to revamp this. Just Sports Nation, everybody is going crazy about the 2016 draft. Who's thinking that far ahead? Of course, smart GMs are. The NBA were well known for picking up superstars, and only really, really bottom of the totem pole teams want to take those risks on the up-and-coming college stars because they need a base. They don't have that structure. Or if you're an advanced team, say the Spurs, and you get a steal, you just get that piece that'll fit into your system. You can steal somebody in a late draft pick. But, again, 2016, we're talking Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Steph Curry. Oh, my gosh. There's about 10 to 12 of them. Carmelo Anthony. Oh, goodness, I'm losing my mind.
No need for you to run down all of them now. They need
Let's just say if we were to make a USA Olympic basketball team, the 2016 draft would fill the roster.
No, you're probably right. The free agency pool would fill the roster. But with that being said, man, listen, Sam Presti, you're going to get on my nerves once again because you didn't want to pay the luxury tax with James Harden, who is an MVP candidate this year. So you got rid of him. MVP candidate number one. Now, well, there was talks about getting rid of Westbrook because Westbrook and KD couldn't play together. So, you might lose him if you lose KD. And if you got rid of KD, that would be 2 MVP candidates in the last 4 years that you've gotten rid of, Sam Presti. So I don't think that'd be a good look for OKC. I don't think they survive if they get rid of Kevin Durant. And I don't think you can pretty much – can you get away with that? Get away with trading an MVP candidate? I don't think you can. You already got away with James Harden because you wouldn't pay him the money. And you see how much that's done. You haven't been to the finals since you were with the finals and played LeBron James and D. Wade. And you lost that one with KD. But had y'all have kept James Harden, I think y'all have won a championship by now. But guess what? You didn't keep him. You haven't been back there since. You're going through injuries. Russell Westbrook being an MVP candidate now. And we're going to talk about that soon.
We'll get
Trust me. I'm talking about right after what we're talking about. It's a nice little segue here. But Sam Presti, how do you explain to your millions of fans, to your fan base, that you got rid of 2 MVP candidates or you just let them go for nothing? So I could see you possibly trading KD, but you wouldn't want to do it. That's kind of like trading Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. Yeah, he's that big of a franchise player. He hasn't won yet, but he's that good. Have you seen his jumper? Have you seen how he gets to the hole, how long he is and handles it? He's like 6'10", handling like a guard. You can't get rid of that. That man's a beast. But with that being said, I think we were talking about Russell Westbrook, and is he an MVP candidate? I'm going to let Dart start first. No, go ahead.
Before we go that far,
okay.
Before we go MVP, talk about Russell Westbrook, let me say the one positive thing about Westbrook. When he plays with Durant, who in my opinion, when he's not hurt, is the OKC's MVP, not Mr. Stat Stuffer when he's doing it solo, the win column. What are we talking here? When they play together, they actually win games. Russell Westbrook, he's been averaging, almost a triple-double over the last 8 to 10 games. How's their record looking?
It was looking like 2-4 when he was averaging that triple-double during that month.
I believe up to the 7th spot. Is that right?
No, they made it to the 8th spot.
They made it to the 8th spot?
They're still 2
They were
games
almost
behind.
in the 7th spot, correct?
They were almost.
And now they're out of the playoffs again.
Yeah, 9th to the Pelicans now. The Pelicans have moved in because of the fear of the brow, who should be an MVP candidate as well, but we should talk about that later.
So I guess we should shout out fantasy owners who have Russell Westbrook from the time being.
Oh.
But as for an OKC fan, sorry,
thought he was
nothing
talking
we
about
can
Anthony
do.
Davis. I got Anthony Davis in my fantasy. He's a monster. Thanks, Dart. Appreciate the trade.
Anthony Davis, by the way, Pelicans have taken over a spot over the Thunder.
Tyreek Evans looking good, too. But this is my beef with Russell Westbrook. This is the thing. I love Russell Westbrook. My perception hasn't changed. Media perception has changed of him. He's one of those guys that's going to give it all he's got, whether it's going to be a points-to-turnover ratio that's going to seem equal most of the time. Assist-to-turnover ratio is going to seem equal. Didn't he have 10 turnovers the other night, if I'm not mistaken? But the thing is, he gives his heart. He plays with it. He plays hard. That's what you're going to get out of Westbrook. You're going to get a full 48 minutes a game if he plays it out of Westbrook, and yet can't be denied. But my thing with him is he only did it for that month. People got wowed by that month in general that he went off for those triple-doubles because what? He's making history with Michael Jordan? because he's up there with him. But Michael Jordan got wins during his triple-doubles. Westbrook didn't get wins. Westbrook put those triple-doubles up, and if I recall, they played the Phoenix Suns one time, and Eric Bledsoe almost got a triple-double, but Eric Bledsoe and the Phoenix Suns came away with the win. OKC didn't come away with the win. They took an L, and they've been taking L's. So they're going to need Kevin Durant to come back. And I'm going to need Kevin Durant to come back. You know why? Because I'm getting tired of this guy named Eric Burnett, giving him a shout out right now. I'm getting tired of him actually winning in fantasy when he ruined our fantasy league by getting Russell Westbrook for nothing. And when I say nothing, check our fantasy reports. He got him for nothing. So that's what I'm saying with that whole thing. Westbrook, I applaud what you're doing, but you're not the MVP. You know who is the MVP, though? His name is James Harden. Why?
Now, please explain what the criteria is for an MVP. We're talking schedule, length, okay? So win-loss column. We're talking about
games played.
Not necessarily Iron Man, but games played.
Games played.
You can't impact your team unless you're actually playing with the people. So when Russell Westbrook's been injured almost as long as KD, that's like the equivalent of saying